This is the Sports Fix. Here's Kevin Sheehan and Thom Loverro.
Last play of the first half, Redskins lead at 3-0.
Let's see what Dallas could do is run a draw play here.
Romo back to pass. Gonna get hit. Pitches it off to Tashard Choice. And that'd be a fumble on the play. Then one of the Redskins picks it up. It's deAngelo Hall, and he's gonna go turn the house for a touchdown. How about that?
There's no denying that deAngelo Hall brought some exciting moments to Redskins fans in his years playing cornerback. I always had the issue as to whether or not the juice was always worth the squeezing when it came to deAngelo Hall. No longer a Redskin, certainly not an $8 million cornerback. And the Redskins made a bunch of moves over the weekend to keep the band together by signing a bunch of their restricted free agents. And according to the report out there now, Mike Jones, I believe, is reporting that Santana Moss is going to be returning. Mike joins us now. Mike, what's the deal with Santana Moss? He's going to be back?
Yes, he's going to be back, Lovey. He took basically a $2 million pay cut. They took his salary, converted about $2 million of it to incentives, so he has a chance to earn it back. But that is going to help the Redskins. So they entered the day about $1 million under the cap. Now they're probably about $3 million under the cap, which, you know, it's below the cap, which they need to do, but it's still not enough. They still got some more work to do so they can make some moves. But Santana will be back with the Redskins as he's coming off that year where he led them in touchdown catches.
You know, trying to read the tea leaves in what they're going to do will make you dizzy in this because, I mean, it looks like they're heading for a free agency and training camp like they did in Mike Shanahan's first year, where basically they brought in people off the street who may have played in the NFL or may not have played in the NFL for tryouts, you know. But then I see reports about them like, you know, I see a report on WashingtonPost.com. Can the Redskins afford to be in the bidding for Akeem Talib? And I've seen other reports, and I just, how are they going to get the money for this? Where's that coming from?
You know, that's a very good question. That's where, you know, I've been checking with agents and players, you know, all day long, trying to find out who they're working on or who they're talking to, restructuring. And, you know, a number of the guys you would think possibly there hasn't been those discussions yet, not at least if the sides are willing to divulge. But they've got to do something because when you think about it, for your rookies, your draft picks, you need about $4 to $5 million to be able to sign those guys. So they don't even have that taken care of yet. And then you've got Lorenzo Alexander and Fred Davis, who are free agents that you would like to bring back, but you don't know if you have enough money for them. And then you still need a right tackle because Tyler Columbus is a free agent. You don't have a punter right now because Sav Rock is a free agent. And from talking to his camp, they were still waiting on the Redskins to come back to them with some type of offer. And so you've got a lot of question areas and not a lot of resources to be able to get it done. You have to maybe look at guys like Brian Arakpo, Trent Williams, combined for probably about $14 million in cap money. You don't know if they're looking at trying to restructure there, work out some extensions, or either convert some to guaranteed money. But right now, you know that they've got to be crunching some numbers and trying to figure out what to do. But right now, there's not a lot of answers. You know what's kind of amusing is that I mentioned the other day that Eric Schaefer used to use his powers for evil. Now he uses them for good, in the sense that he was always asked under the old regime to try to come up with ways to sign these overpriced free agents, and now he's being asked, probably by Bruce Allen, to come up with ways for them to get around the salary cap penalties that it resulted in. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy. Like, he's a victim of both of the excesses, and now he's being asked to clean it up. I mean, it's a tough job for anybody to come up with a salary cap plan for this team, isn't it? Yeah, it definitely is. The good thing is that for the Redskins, I mean, Eric Schaefer is our off-season MVP because of the way he's able to crunch those numbers and figures. So you know that anytime they're able to come up with some type of move, money here, money there, the way if they've structured a contract to give them some flexibility, it's because of the work that Schaefer's doing. So the pressure is on him, and they're counting on him to be able to come up with some of that. Now, I don't think that there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to go after because of this. And Shanahan said yesterday, we've got 60 players right now that are ready to go. The other 30, we're going to get through the draft, possibly one or two through free agency, and then maybe some guys who get, cut and that be evaluated at a higher level of talent than some other people.
We're talking to Mike Jones, who covers the team for the Washington Post. You can follow him on WashingtonPost.com. Mike, was there any reading between the lines of what Bruce Allen said yesterday at the press conference about the salary cap, or was it pretty much clear cut what he said?
No, I don't think it was clear cut, because 1 minute he said they were not contemplating a lawsuit, but then he said they're reviewing their other options, and there are some. Well, from talking to people around the league, basically their only option would be to take some type of legal action. I mean, the league isn't just going to be nice and accept a batch of cookies and give that money back. There obviously is something that the Redskins are still working on. I've been told that they have not given up on the possibility of some type of legal route, but it's just a matter of how serious they are. But to me, in listening to Shanahan, it almost sounded like he was just about waving the white flag and saying this is the cards that we're dealt and we're going to deal with it and accept the challenge.
I'm not sure that maybe Bruce Allen would be comfortable with it since he worked for the organization before, but I'm not sure Mike Shanahan, even though he coached for the Raiders, would be comfortable with the Redskins basically becoming this era's version of the Raiders in the sense that they're the outlaw franchise of the NFL. If they would take any legal action, I mean, that's who they are, right?
Exactly. And that's, I think, why they're a little hesitant, because you alienate a lot of people. People already were mad at them because the way that they had a ton of cap space and then they traded up to get the number 2 pick. And so then if you basically are suing your business partners, then that really puts you in a bad light. And I think that's why the Redskins kind of held off in that route.
One last thing before we let you go, Mike. Do you have anything you want to share at all about the departure of deAngelo Hall?
You understand why it happened. I know a lot of fans, he kind of was a polarizing guy. A lot of fans were happy to see him go, but this isn't a move that makes the Redskins better, I don't think. Because now, who else is out there? There's nobody on your roster that can slide into that spot right now. Right now, Josh Wilson's your number 1 corner, and then Richard Crawford would be lining up opposite him. And so you've got big holes there. deAngelo said that Shanahan told him, go out and see what you can get. If it doesn't work out and you would like to come back here, we've got some interest. But I don't know if that will happen. Like you said at the beginning, there were definitely some exciting moments when D. Hall was out there on the field. But there were also some times, big plays that he gave up. Not all of them were his fault. Some had to do with poor safety play, but he also, and then the whole attitude where he kind of was a little bit Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. So he definitely will be remembered, some for good and some for less favorable things.
Mike, thanks for coming on today. How can people follow you on Twitter? Give us your Twitter handle.
It's Mike Jones WAPO, Mike Jones WAPO.
Okay, Mike, thanks a lot for coming on.
All right, thank you.